So we've all been waiting ever since Star Trek Into Darkness to see what's going to happen with this franchise. It's been pretty quiet for a while. There was all that Quentin Tarantino talk for a couple of years where he insisted that he was going to be directing a Star Trek movie, and there was all this talk about how it was going to be R-rated, and it actually sounded like maybe it was going to happen. More recently, that seems to be falling off the radar, and Tarantino seems less and less interested in that. So what is going on with Star Trek? Are we going to see a fourth movie in the recent reboot of that franchise? So in an interview with Simon Pegg the other day, he said, "The fact is, Star Trek movies don't make Marvel money. They make maybe $500 million at the most, and to make one now, on the scale they've set themselves, is $200 million. You have to make 3 times that to make a profit. I don't feel like the last one. They didn't really take it. You know what? Usually I can pull off a British accent. Right now I'm struggling with it for some reason, so I'm going to drop it. I don't feel like the last one. They didn't really take advantage of the 50th anniversary. The regime at the time dropped the ball in the promo of the film, and we've lost momentum. I think losing Anton was a huge blow to our little family, and our enthusiasm to do another one might have been affected by that, so I don't know." So it sounds like it's kind of up in the air right now whether or not a Star Trek 4 is actually going to happen. I don't feel, I'm not too broken up about that. I thought the first movie in the reboot franchise was pretty good. I had a good time with it. 2 and 3 were okay. I didn't love the direction they went with 3, where it kind of felt more like an episode in a series rather than a really important film that develops the characters in an interesting way. So I wasn't really itching for a fourth one. Alon, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever did I even see a second?
I think you did.
Remember. I think I saw a second. Yeah, I don't think I saw a third one. Mm-hmm. I think you probably feel the same way here, but to me, we already have. I mean, I wish they'd do a better job, but we have Star Wars. That's like the large scale, sci-fi movie that we've got right now. I think that Star Trek, especially with, if they need to have a lower budget, they could make a smaller story. I always think back to Logan. Right. It doesn't need to be this giant movie with huge space battles. It could be something a little more grounded,
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, when they released the first Star Trek movie in this reboot franchise, and then they said J.J. Abrams is going to make Star Wars now, people basically said he already made Star Wars. It was called Star Trek. So we've already got the big sci-fi action franchise. This is what would get me interested in another Star Trek movie. If they said they were going to make it more grounded, they were going to make it a smaller, more contemplative sci-fi movie, which is, that's a reputation that the original Star Trek series has, and I think at times it's lived up to it. At other times it's kind of gone a little bit more towards the action route. But if they can ground the franchise and make it smaller, make it more about the interesting ideas, exploring other civilizations, and less about action, that would get me interested. I have a feeling they're not going to go that direction just because the 2 most recent Star Trek series on TV, Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard, both of them do lean more in the action direction than I think the original Star Trek series or Star Trek Next Generation. So I have if I were to make a prediction here, I'd say Star Trek is probably going to live on TV for a little while, and maybe this franchise is going to take a little bit of a break from theaters. I doubt we're going to see the Chris Pine, Simon Pegg cast back in theaters again. I'm wondering if we're going to see another reboot of sorts the next time Star Trek is back in theaters. But hopefully they do take a more grounded, smaller approach, and then Alon and I will be in the theater to see it.